Alright, so hello everybody. So we have one of Kris Tyson's victims. We're going to be interviewing them, and this is not going to be such a lengthy interview. Obviously, if more information comes out, this is all the information that we have, and it's being provided to us right now from a direct source right here, only on this YouTube channel. So yeah, shall we begin the interview, I guess? I mean, this is like quite heavy stuff.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Alright, so first things first, I guess, I don't know, just introduce yourself. I mean, tell us like your name, your location, your age, because this is extremely relevant when it actually comes to the grooming case.
Yeah, so pretty much, guys, my name is Doug Ford. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Toronto. I'm like a Bitcoin miner. That's like my career. And I know I'm quite young, but that's just like my passion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And during the incident with Kris, I was only 12 years old during the launch of MrBeast Burger.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So that leads me to my next question. How did you meet Kris Tyson? Like, how did the whole thing escalate, and how did you even get to know him in the first place?
So I got to meet Kris Tyson while I was in the line of like the MrBeast Burger launch, and like it was the initial release, like the first restaurant. It was in a town like called Wilson, and Kris pretty much like while I was waiting in the line. Yeah. And while I was in the line, Kris from MrBeast, now known as Ava, I think, pretty much came up and groped my ass, like no joke, groped my ass and whispered in my ear like something along the lines of like, "Come to daddy."
What?
And
okay.
he grabbed my hand.
I know I'm not supposed to be I know that's like really serious, but
no, I understand, but it is really serious, and this has been like traumatizing me for a while.
Oh my god.
He pretty much like grabbed my hand, like pulled me to the parking lot. And it was pretty dark out, it was late at night during this, like, it was like a dark Wilson night, and pretty much he brought me behind his dark, like, Chevrolet, and, like, I was a little fan, like a young little boy, so I thought he was just gonna, like, take 12, a selfie with me or something, like, something along the lines of, like, he was gonna, like, sign, like, my hat or something, or, like, take a picture with me, but he brought me behind his Chevrolet truck, and pretty much, like, he raped me. But yeah, that's how I met him.
Okay, that's really heavy stuff. But, I mean, okay, first of all, we'll get into that because, we have the receipts. We know that this has happened, and this is, like, absolutely disgusting. But, first things first, I want to ask you, so you flew from where to Wilson? How did you get to Wilson?
Well, I flew from Toronto, where I reside, to Wilson. Because I'm a massive fan of MrBeast. I've pretty much I've been to meet and greets and stuff.
Alright,
and
that makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean that's like really strange, all of the stuff that you just said. But
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, that escalated really quickly, so I just wanna go back to the main focus of this interview. Which is, what are like your thoughts on the latest situation? Like, what has been happening lately with the MrBeast crew and, them getting exposed and all of that. Where Kris Tyson's been exposed for being a supposed pedophile with all the Shadman stuff and all of that. Like, where do you stand on that? Do you think that's true or?
Well, I think it's true, obviously. I've pretty much experienced it firsthand. So obviously I think it's true, and I think it's good people are like exposing him for his heinous acts. Like, this guy, he does not belong anywhere near children, especially like being high up in a children's YouTube channel. And I think it's good he's finally being exposed. And I think it's safe to assume there's even more victims than just me and just the people in that. I think there's way more victims.
And why do you think that they're not speaking out, those other victims?
Well, Kris from MrBeast and like the MrBeast crew, they do have a deal with like the federal establishment in the United States.
Okay.
Like not a lot of people know this.
Wait, pause there.
But they do.
We'll get into that soon because I mean, first of all, I just want the audience and all the people watching, I want the viewers to know that we actually did talk off recording for just a little bit, and you told me all of this crazy stuff about, you know, the federal government and how MrBeast and these lobbyists, this MrBeast crew is actually running the federal government in America, like all of this crazy stuff, and you actually had evidence to back it up. But we'll get into that later, because this is some groundbreaking stuff. I just really quickly want to ask you, you know, when it comes to Chris from MrBeast, right? I mean, obviously you knew him personally, or her, or whatever the fuck, but what about MrBeast? Did you know MrBeast personally? Like the guy behind the whole brand, the guy behind the scenes pulling all the strings?
Well, I wouldn't say I knew him personally, but I was like a massive fan, as I like priorly stated. I went to a few of his meet and greets in various places, and the MrBeast crew, like more prominently like Jimmy, the main guy.
Yeah, did you meet
Chris,
any other MrBeast crew members?
Yeah, I met Jimmy, I met Chris obviously, and I met Carl. All of them gave me weird glares and stuff. I thought it was because I'm black and stuff, but I'm not sure if it was because I'm black, honestly. I don't know why to this day. But MrBeast and like main guy MrBeast, Jimmy, and Carl, they gave me weird glares, and when I took a picture of them with them, they always had an angry like stare on their face. They seem like really odd figures, you know? They never really treated me like a human. Like, I don't know. They seem like odd guys. Different from the YouTube videos, you know?
I don't know. I mean, that's quite bold to assume, but do you think that was related to your skin color or no?
Well, as a black man or teenager, and as like everyone in the MrBeast crew seems to be like prominently white, I guess you could assume that there could be
that does
something else,
really
maybe just because I'm young or something. But I'd say like with all the systemic racism in America, and since MrBeast does run the government and shit. Yeah. I honestly, like, I would assume it was because I'm black or some other figure, but probably my race.
Okay, next question. I just, you know, could you go, like, a bit more into detail of, like, how Kris Tyson groomed you at the MrBeast Burger place in Wilson when you were there? Obviously, I mean, earlier in this interview, you actually spoke about the dark Chevrolet or black Chevrolet or whatever it was. You said that he took you to the parking lot at the MrBeast Burger place. So, could you give us like a rough estimate of, you know, how, when this went down, why, and, you know, specifically where this actually took place? So it was behind the Chevrolet, right?
Yeah. So I kind of vaguely explained it earlier, but I'll go more in depth right now. So I'll start from the beginning. Like, I was in the line for the release of MrBeast Burger, and he did grab like my ass, and he guided me toward like the parking lot. He like walked me there, and we had to walk through a bunch of fans who were like screaming, since they were all not like screaming of joy because like they seemed like their favorite YouTuber, and they were all trying to like take pictures with them. But it seems like they kind of just ignored him. Well, he kind of just ignored the fans and just kept like holding my hand and bringing me towards the parking lot. And this was at 3 a.m. since like the release got delayed because of, I don't know, there must have been some sort of error or something with the kitchen, but it took all the way till 3 a.m. so it was really late. And pretty much he brought me towards his Chevrolet truck, and he groomed me, like he coerced me into like giving him a hand. Like, I thought he was gonna make me take a picture or something, and I was 12 years old. I didn't even know what this meant, and he made me yell like things to like, I guess, help him like finish or whatever. He made me yell shit like Kris Tyson is my nigga and stuff. Like, I don't know why he'd make me do that, but yeah. And once he finished, it didn't take very long. It took like about like a minute or 2 minutes, I'd say. But once he finished, he pulled out like a MrBeast Burger Chris style out of his like jacket pocket or whatever, and he like opened it up. He nutted inside of it, like he finished inside of it, and he made me eat it. And he like watched me take every bite, and he said you have to finish the whole thing. and I almost threw up 3 times, but I was young, you know, like I didn't understand anything. I was just doing it because like Chris was my hero. Like I wanted to throw up so bad, but I didn't want to like make my hero feel disgusted, so I just kept eating. I finished the entire thing, and yeah, he pretty much just like, I don't know, we just went back and everything was normal again, and I didn't really understand at that time.
Sick, man. But, oh my god. Okay, so after all of this took place, right? So after this incident took place, what did you do immediately after?
Well, I tried running. Like we went back, and like I was kind of like in a state of shock. But when I went back, I tried like running away, and Chris like, I guess like he told like Carl and stuff, and Jimmy, and Carl ran at me while I was running away because I was scared. I didn't know what just happened. Carl ran after me, and he shouted something along the lines, I think it was like, I'm gonna groom you, or like, it was like, he was like rhyming, it was like, I will plume me until you groom, or something. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but yeah, he started chasing me.
And this was the only instance where you met Carl, because you said earlier that you met him, right? So, you know, I'm just making notes here.
Well, I did meet him a while back, like at a like separate meet and greet, but yeah, and I tried running pretty much. He ran after me, and I lost him,
so
and then I called my mom.
Did Chris run after you as well, or was it just Carl?
No, it was just Carl. I guess he told Carl to do it. I don't know. They're all like really tightly knit, you know. They're all like,
yeah.
They all like work together, bro. Like I guess like right after, like they told Carl and Jimmy, I think they're all in on it, you know, so they got Carl to run after me.
So are you saying it's like a clique, like an international clique, and they like all stick together and work? Yeah, it's like a mafia essentially?
I'd say so, like, yeah, I'd say so, and I'd say, honestly, I don't think it's just Chris that is like a groomer. Like, this is a complete theory, and I don't particularly have proof yet.
I mean, we'll see later. I mean, there's a ton of victims coming out. Maybe
we'll see later. Yeah. I'd say
we'll see on the Maximus Show YouTube channel.
May have some allegations. Yeah.
All right. And what was okay? So you said that you ran away, right? And Carl was chasing you. What was like what was Carl's and Chris's reaction? So yeah, what was like Chris's and Carl's reaction to you running away? Because I mean, obviously, you know, Chris made you eat the famous like semen burger. So what was Chris's like main reaction when you were running away? Like, I don't know, was he saying anything? Well, what was the expression on his face? Was he mad? Was he happy? Or?
Chris looked happy while he was like while he was doing the act, and like, I was giving him like a hand. Everything, and he looked proud of himself. And when we were going back and I started running away, he kind of got like a surprised look, which slowly turned to anger, and Carl started running after me, and he was obviously angry, I guess, because he was screaming some, I don't know, it sounded like obscenities, but I don't completely recall what it was.
And was Chris shouting anything? Because I mean, you said that Carl was
no, Chris wasn't. Carl was the one shouting, but Chris kind of let Carl do the work, I guess, and when chasing me, kind of just stayed behind.
Okay, next question. Did the process feel good? You know?
Dude, what do you mean, feel good? Like when I
don't know, raped? Like, did you feel like...
Bro, obviously not. Like, I got raped, like, and I was 12 years old. Like, this was not anything that felt good, and it was completely... I honestly think that's a gross question, not gonna lie. I think that's honestly, like, a bad thing to ask, like...
Okay, jeez, dude. Honestly, like, I was just joking.
I don't know why you'd ask
Holy
that.
Shit. I was... Dude, chill. Dude. Okay, I mean, you're the one being interviewed. Oh, my God. Okay, be grateful, dude.
Alright, man.
Anyway, next question. Why did you not tell the police?
Well, as what I said earlier, Chris and like the MrBeast crew, they do have a deal with the federal establishment in the United States. They literally run foreign policy, And so if I told the police, I would literally be putting myself in danger. Like, I could get killed. I don't even know like what would have happened. So I'm happy I didn't tell the police, since it's all corrupt and MrBeast has like, he has control over that shit. Like,
He
I don't
has
know.
like
So I didn't do
friends
that.
in the higher ups of the police establishment, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you're alluding?
yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't tell the
Chris
police.
like this to other
and-
people too? Like the stuff that he did to you, which you're obviously, so traumatized by, this whole situation. Extremely traumatic. Did he do this to anybody else?
Well, he did get exposed recently, so I mean, it's safe to assume he is like this to others. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
But,
as I said earlier, I think there's
the-
going to be even more victims, and I think he is like this to others. I didn't personally see it.
I mean,
But
obviously, right?
like
I
the
mean,
way he
does
like
this.
his
I mean, he
mannerisms
lures
and
kids
shit.
into the parking lot, right? So I mean, obviously, you can't see it.
Yeah, like his mannerisms when you talk to him, he's just an odd guy, and I think if he would do something like that to me, he would definitely do it to others as well. And I don't, and since they were so like, they worked so well together, like as soon as I started running away, Carl automatically knew to start chasing me and stuff. I think like they had this planned, and I think there's
you're
other
saying
victims
that
as
it's
well.
very
So, yeah, it's-
coordinated and it's premeditated. Action.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
So, did Chris show any signs of wanting to transition? Because, obviously, as we said earlier in this interview, I think it's obvious to every viewer here that Chris has transitioned. He now is calling himself a female. He abandoned his son and his wife to become a woman, essentially. And he has took a step back from the MrBeast crew and the studio, and he's now pursuing his sexuality, I guess you could put it. So did he show any signs? I know this is kind of a calm question, like relatively, compared to the
Yeah.
other ones, but I just want to ask.
Well, this is kind of, I don't know, this is kind of re-traumatizing for me to say, but like what I recall is when he, like his dick and like his penis, he had like cut marks on it, and he also had like on his wrist, which is safe to assume he was mentally ill in some way. So I would say, yeah, like he did show some signs of transitioning, but I can't assume that 100%, like I don't know what happened, but I mean, since now that we know he is trans, I'd say that's safe to assume, yeah, he probably did try to transition by cutting off his penis, or he was already mentally ill by having cut wrists and shit.
Well, that
But
was
yeah.
quite the story, man. Oh my god. I can't believe it, honestly. Like, it's a lot of stuff to process, and I mean, I'm sure it must be extremely traumatic for you. But, one last question,
Yeah.
just to put the cherry on top of the cake, or, well, I mean, it's not really a cake, it's more of like an ugly, rat-infested cheese sandwich, more of, because the situation is just absolutely disgusting, rotten to its core. Why did you come to speak out about this to me and not somebody else? I mean, obviously, there's, popular news outlets such as Keemstar, or I don't know. I mean, you could have spoken to literally everybody. I know Keemstar is not the best example, but I mean, you could have spoken to anybody else who has a massive following. So, what made you trust me with my ability to be able to
Well,
disseminate this information?
I'd say I trust you and smaller YouTubers more, because you never know with these big YouTubers, they could be working together, and you never know if they're just trying to get more victims or whatever, they're trying to silence people. So talking to one of these big YouTubers might not be the best idea. And yeah, I also feel safer now, like now that other people have spoken out.
You tried getting into contact to speak about this with I think it was Moist Critical, but he actually ended up sending you like his shit pic or something like that. Like he tried grooming you.
Yeah,
when you tried to reveal your story. Could you
Yes,
go like
literally.
a bit?
I guess he's seen me as vulnerable or something. Yeah. Well, Moist Critical, I've always liked him as a YouTuber, and He reports a lot of drama stuff, and yeah, I wanted to speak to him about this, and he has a big platform, and he seems like a genuine, down-to-earth guy. So I tried speaking to him, and I emailed him about it. He's told me to add his Snapchat, where he then proceeded to attempt to groom me, and like I'm smarter than that now, but he pretty much like asked me to send nudes and stuff. He asked me to play this game. It's called Hide the Plantain, and pretty much it's like something along the lines of you go into a dark shed and you try and find each other's, like he said pickle ricks, but I'd say like penis. That's what he probably means. And yeah, he's actually like a groomer himself. So I don't watch him anymore. He's a faker. He's a bad guy, and he literally did try and groom me. He actually got forced into making a video about Kris Tyson because his audience was so... I guess he made the video to look not guilty, or like he doesn't support this person, but I think he obviously does. He would have made the video much earlier if he wanted to, but he didn't. He waited until he had all the backlash. And yeah, he makes... I don't know. Yeah, he attempted to groom me, and he really is hiding a lot of secrets. He's not a genuine guy. He's actually a pedophile.
Wow. Well, I mean,
he sent me a shit pic as well, as you said. But
yeah. Okay, so that I guess wraps it up. Obviously, I don't think you want to talk about the shit pic. We'll put a picture of it up on the screen, obviously blurred and censored because of YouTube's TOS, and I don't think anybody in the audience wants to see it because it's absolutely grotesque. But that's gonna wrap it up for today. So thank you so much, Doug, for speaking out about this. I know that it's very traumatic for you, and we'll try to get this out to as many people as possible because people need to hear this. This is absolutely disgusting what has been going on behind the scenes, and you know, I'm just gonna go away. I'll let you say any last words if you want to, and we'll just wrap things up here and just end the interview.
Yeah, I'll say one last thing. Just everyone, I need you to be careful who you idolize, because MrBeast, you know, he was someone that and like the entire crew, Kris, these were people that I really looked up to, and they literally backstabbed me in the worst possible way. They raped me, they took advantage of me. These people cannot be trusted, and you guys need to be really careful, especially on the internet. There's a lot of dangerous people like Kris and like the entire crew, so yeah, just be careful, everyone. And yeah.